I like to sexually degrade or humiliate my partner. Again, I mean, if you did the courtesy of having sex with me, like I'm gonna just give you a thumbs up and like glowing reviews. I'm not gonna be in there and start like treating it like it's a Reddit comment fight. I've actually had this idea for a video for quite some time now, but I kept debating with myself on whether or not it was a good idea to make something about fart porn, and then today I found Harley Quinn farts, and I knew this is what God put me on the earth for.
That jalapeno chili's talking back at me.
Yeah, I feel her on that one. I can't eat jalapeno chili without ending up spreading my ass cheeks in front of my phone camera and blasting farts at it.
Don't be a stinker. I'll be stinking this place up soon enough.
No, you're bluffing. Jesus Christ, Harley, show some mercy. Gotham is doomed. What tremendous foreplay. This could be the end of Batman as we know him, his most powerful adversary yet. Now, obviously, I can't show you the video past this point because then it just becomes ass in the camera, bare ass in the camera, with a pulsating chocolate starfish playing a symphony of flatulence, like this crescendo of farts throughout the rest of the video. So instead, I'll play the audio and we can react to it together. Come on, goddammit, I'm ready. Play me a song on that rectum radio.
I'm the worst of the worst. Ooh, wow.
You know, this is my problem when it comes to fart porn. Unrealistic expectations of men in the real world. See, this is all just fantasy. You can't fart like this all the time, ladies. Yeah, you know, a girl will watch this, get super fucking horny, and then she'll have sex with a man and he can't even fart like this. This kind of paints this unrealistic picture of what fart sex is supposed to be like and sound like. My farts don't sound anything like these wet celebrations of flatulence. Mine sound like very slowly letting the air out of a balloon. My farts are embarrassing. Girls would laugh at my farts if I did these kind of videos in a Harley Quinn cosplay. Now, the only criticism I can really give here, she's doing a great job blowing some farts out here. She truly is absolutely killing it, but I don't like that she laughs about it. It's not supposed to be comedy. This is fart porn. This shit's supposed to be hot. Don't laugh. Don't like shame me because I'm over here jerking off to your farts. All right? Take it seriously a little bit next time, Harley Quinn, please, but keep farting.
My asshole's talking some serious shit right
now. A classic. Truly a classic. That's a line that's gonna echo throughout time. You know, like you got Blade Runner, like Tears Lost in the Rain, and then right underneath that you'll have my asshole's talking some serious shit right now, as Harley Quinn is blowing some fucking fat farts into the camera.
Pay up, B-man. Gas ain't free.
Jesus Christ, hit the deck. That fart had some power behind it. I could fucking feel that one through the computer screen. Nearly threw me back into my seat there in the recoil. This lady has some incredible one-liners. Like, you know, gas ain't free. My asshole's talking some serious shit right now. This shit's gold. This is honestly, it feels like a comic book writer wrote her script. Like, if there was an evil Batman villain that was a fart fetishist, and she was taking down Batman with some fat fucking gnarly farts, these are the one-liners I think they'd actually use. This is fantastic. This shit's all like one take, too. She is a professional. This is just probably the perfect fart porn video. Granted, I haven't seen too many. My horizons haven't really been expanded that much in the world of fart porn or anything, but of the few that I've seen, this one is by far S tier. Whereas all the other fart porns that I've taken a sampling of, a quick little taste test of, they all seem to just want to show the asshole farting, and there's really no art to it. But this is almost like a poetic celebration of what it means to be human and to fart. It's just such a well-made video that'll no doubt bring a tear to your eye and some cum to your penis.
Oh, ooh, them stinkers. Oops. I think I got you in the eye. Ooh. Ooh.
In conclusion, fart porn is art. I rest my case. Thank you. So yeah, porn, the great uniter, the one force that ties strangers to strangers in a way they don't even realize, the one thing every human being has in common, the love of porn, the art of porn, the ethereal beauty of the craft. Now, as the title of the video suggests, I used to watch the same porn video for the better part of 2 years, perhaps a little longer than 2 years, but I'm going to say 2 years just to err on the side of caution. I've made it no secret that I refuse to get a haircut at the moment, and that I also used to have very bad OCD. Not your generic watered down bullshit meaningless version of OCD where you move your car keys from the counter to the drawer because you don't like them on the counter. That's not fucking OCD, you goddamn bigot. Don't you hijack what OCD actually means. I had literal OCD, and one of my rituals was watching the exact same lesbian porn video for the better part of 2 years. And I want to tell you what happened as a result of doing that. Now, let's go ahead and start. The video was called Nice Pair of Lesbians. Let's take a moment of silence to remember that beautiful video from redtube.com. It is no longer on redtube.com. Okay, thank you for participating. The video still exists. I know, I get emails all the time like, hey, I found that lesbian porn that you used to jerk off to, you know, that used to haunt your fucking boners. Here it is. Yes, I know it's still on the internet, but in like 240 and 360p. On RedTube, it used to be 480. 480p or higher does not exist anywhere on the internet anymore. Trust me, I have looked. But that's besides the point. That's just to give you the context of what the video is. Maybe someone else out there used to also have OCD and jerk off to this video for 2 years straight. And if so, you're not alone, my brother, or my sister. You and I now share a cosmic bond, a bond stronger than the bond between a mother and her child. I love you. Now, it wasn't just watching this lesbian porno. I had an entire routine for it, like a choreographed dance routine for jerking off to this video. And I know I've talked about a little of this on the podcast before, but I still get emails asking me to talk more about that porno that I jerked off to for 2 years. So I figured I'd talk more about it. I also get emails asking me what's my Twitch account, and I'm glad you asked. It's twitch.tv/moistcritical. Go drop a follow, subscribe. Love to see you over there. I stream daily. Twitch.tv/moistcritical. Fuck yeah. But anyway, so this routine that I came up with, well, not that I came up with, that I kind of fucking cursed myself with and burdened myself with at the time. I would make certain facial expressions during certain points in the video. I would say certain things to the actresses in the video, and make no mistake, you goddamn delusional incels, the porn actresses are just that, they're actresses. They have a script of certain moves they're going to do. It's not like they're just fingering themselves and ass blasting their assholes with their fists for your enjoyment alone. It is a job, and they are actresses. Get it through your fucking skull. But anyway, I would say things to them like, oh, you're so hot, that's so sexy, I'm touching my dick to you, as if they could hear me, and as if I was communicating to them directly as like the director of this video. It was a really weird routine, it really was. To kind of give you a brief oversight of all of it, I'm not going to walk you through every step that I would do here. In fact, I don't even remember all of them anymore. But before I would watch the video, I would queue it up and let it all buffer and load, because this was a long time ago. I fucking using RedTube, so obviously it's a long time ago. And while it was buffering and loading, I would turn around from the video, so that way I couldn't see them, and they couldn't see me, obviously. And I would look at my penis until it was completely flaccid, entirely soft. So that way I was coming in there with like a clean canvas, and they were going to 100% get me from 0 to hero. So once I was certain that my dick was super soft, I would then sit down and get ready for the action. As it would start, I would say hello to the girls, and I'd compliment them on their beauty. The video started with a girl fingering herself, and I would compliment her on how great she was doing, and then the other girl joined in, and then I'd say hi to her, like, oh, hey, you just stopping by? Shit like that. It was really fucking weird. And honestly, I hope the NSA was watching during those times, because I would love to see those documents. I'd love to see that film. I think that shit would make for a really incredible case study on OCD, because that shit was goofy as fuck. And I would love to remember exactly all the shit that I would say. I don't necessarily want to see underage me jerking himself off into the webcam or anything. I could skip that part. But I at least want to see what I was saying to the girls during the video. But that's kind of how it went. Facial expressions, words and things I would say to the girls. It was always the same. I had to make sure I said the same things to the girls. I had to make sure I made the same facial expressions. I even made sure to keep track of licking my lips. I had certain time marks where I felt I needed to lick my lips at those times, otherwise I was disrespecting them. It was very weird. Now, I did this for, like I said, the better part of 2 years, and honestly probably a little bit more, but we'll say 2 years, and I didn't deviate from that video. I didn't venture out. That was my home. I lived in Nice Pair of Lesbians on RedTube, and they took my home away. It's not there anymore. I'd like to remind you all that it's not fucking there. It's a goddamn crime. It's a fucking sin what they've done removing that. But now, to tie it back to the title of the video, I watched the lesbian porn for 2 years. Here's what happened. What happened is I recognized how weird it was, and I started to really combat my OCD, and I started cheating on the porno by watching other videos. I did. I'll come out and say it. I fucking cheated on that porn video and watched other ones. And that's what happened. I stopped being so fucking weird through a lot of effort to try and combat my OCD rituals. I've talked about that in the past, so I'm not going to get into how I did that or the steps I took. But that's the result of watching porn for 2 years. You feel like a fucking degenerate loser, and then eventually you stop, hopefully, if you try hard enough. But anyway, that's the story for today. Thank you all. See ya. I wasn't always this sex god you see before you, the apex of raw sexual energy. In fact, I actually came into this world a virgin. I was born with virginity. My father, he wasn't a virgin, and yet, embarrassingly, I was. And it stayed that way for 19 years, until in the spring break of my 19th year in this plane of existence, it all changed when my wiener nation landed on the shores of a vagina nation. Consensually, of course. It was an invite for the wiener nation to make landfall. At 2013 years after the death of Christ, I had finally lost my virginity. Like a crab shedding its shell, I molted. But what did I do up until that point? Well, I've already shared with you a little bit of my freshman year of college where I pretended to be a mysterious anime character, but this arc doesn't stop there. I used to think it was cool and unique to be a virgin in college, so I used to wear it like a fucking Boy Scouts badge of honor. You know, I would talk about my virginity to any female that made the mistake of listening. It was one of the first things I'd do. I'd basically fucking shake a hand and say, I'm a virgin. You're shaking a virgin's hand, which is probably the grossest hand you could ever shake, because you know that shit is crusty. If these hands could talk, well, if this hand could talk, the stories it would tell you. So, but anyway, I thought because everyone else wasn't a virgin in college, at least none of my friends were, I was one of the I was the last one to lose their virginity in my group of friends, I thought it'd make me stand out. I thought it'd be like, wow, that guy's a virgin? Holy shit. I didn't even know this existed in this college anymore. Damn, that's exotic. I gotta get in there. It wasn't the case. In fact, it was just super creepy. But I wouldn't listen to my friends. One of my friends sat me down as like a fucking intervention. He was like, Charlie, look, you gotta stop telling people you're a virgin. It's weird and it's not gonna work. But I didn't believe him. I thought he was working with like the Illuminati trying to restrict my power. But today I look back on that and I see he was a fucking saint. He knew what I didn't. How creepy that was. I was like a fucking vegan. I wouldn't shut the fuck up about being a virgin. Like in parties and shit, if I'd been drinking, you know the virginity talk was coming. I was like a parent giving the birds and the bees talk to their children. And God help the poor women that talked to me when I was drunk and talking about virginity, because sometimes I'd talk about it in different accents. Sometimes I'd be an Irish virgin, other times a Russian virgin. I thought it would be something different and cool. And I acted like I was proud of it. You know, I've held on to my virginity this long. Fuck yeah, baby, this one's for Jesus Christ up there. But I wasn't proud of it, and I knew Jesus wasn't proud of my virginity either, nor my attempt to spit the game at the parties by talking about virginity. That was never going to work. But it didn't stop me. You see, this all took place around the time that I got my main lead acting role in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I've already shared that story with you. So when I used to meet these women at parties and shit, I would have this 1-2 combo. Hey, I'm in the Hunger Games, and I'm a virgin. That's a fucking irresistible man right there. That right there is a recipe for an Adonis. And let me tell you what, that didn't help very much. But I used to have the Mockingjay trailer on my phone, and I'd show the trailer if they were unfamiliar and just pretend that I was in it, and I wouldn't go back to show them. I'd just be like, oh, there I am. I was quick, you missed it. I must have tried this combination move 100 times. Like a Japanese bladesmith, I'd keep folding it over, smashing it down, making it sharper, better, refining it, until finally it worked one time. I met a girl at a party, we talked, we made out, exchanged numbers, and we're going to get together for a date. Date comes around and you can already guess the conversational topics. Hey, what's your major? Where are you from? Are you a virgin? No? Why not? I am. Bang. Game over. There's no coming back from that kind of shit. I don't know why the fuck I just felt this compulsive desire to constantly talk about it. It's really not like it was a crowning achievement, and not even to me. I constantly wanted to lose my virginity, and yet I'd constantly hype it up like it was the best part of me. It's just wild shit, and you know, it taught me a hard lesson. That's pretty much when I learned the most important lesson. Stop bragging about virginity. This desire to be unique between being an anime character in college, the fucking mysterious anime character, to being a virgin fucking evangelist constantly preaching the good word of virginity. This desire to be unique really fucked me and hindered me very much in my early formative college years. Also, during this time, I had a friend that was a female. I very much liked her. We were friends for like a year. The feelings weren't mutual. I was very into her. She had none of those same feelings for me, but it didn't stop me from telling her that I was saving my virginity for her. How noble. They say chivalry's dead, but yeah, I used to tell her that my virginity is going to be hers for the taking. That had to be the last fucking thing on her Christmas list every goddamn year. It must have been the scariest and most alarming thing someone could tell you like that. And it wasn't just like a 1 or 2 time fluke thing where I mentioned that by accident. No, I told her that shit like all the time. If we texted, it'd be like a lullaby for me. You know, I'm going to bed now. Do you want to kiss my virginity to sleep with your pussy lips? No? Alright, just keep in mind I'm a virgin when you go to sleep tonight. Have dreams about my virginity. It's something I mention frequently because I really thought, in my fucking delusion, that being a virgin and being unique like that was cool and not weird. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe nowadays things have changed and being a virgin's the coolest goddamn thing in the world next to pissing in your pants. But back then it certainly wasn't, and definitely not my approach of mentioning it all the fucking time. I think you could be the coolest man in the world, but if you keep mentioning the same shit over and over again, it's gonna make you look like a fucking weirdo. Actually, let me hit you with a fun trivia fact for when you play Critical Jeopardy with your family. The girl I'm talking about in this story here is actually the reason I kept the beard. You see, for the Hunger Games role I got, they asked that you grow out your facial hair, which I'd never even considered doing before. I'd always been clean shaven. I looked like an 8th grader in debate club. But when I grew it out for that role, she said it looked good, so I kept it, and I never looked back. And now if I shaved it, I'm sure I'd look like a bag of assholes collided with another bag of assholes. So yeah, I guess gloating about virginity wasn't all bad. But trust me, it was all bad. If there's any lesson to take away here from my experience for all of you watching, it would be, don't use like a defining characteristic and shove it down people's throats. Don't try and force people into thinking you are special or unique. Just be yourself, and if they view you as special or unique, great. If they don't, who gives a shit? The two that come to mind right away are vegan and atheist, where people constantly mention those two things that they're associated with that. At least that's the big meme on the internet, and I've only seen it in real life a couple of times, so I don't know how prevalent that is. But just going around and saying things like, I'm a vegan, I'm an atheist, I'm a virgin, and constantly bringing those things up and calling attention to it just makes people not want to be around you. It's a pretty toxic social environment when you're just constantly talking about what you think makes you unique and special. That would be kind of the takeaway from this virginity bragging story, I'd say. Yeah, that's about it. See ya. Here's a little touching story for all of you from my past. I believe this was in my freshman or sophomore year of high school, and puberty was coming in full swing. My body was changing. I was getting hair on my nutsack, my butthole. My height really wasn't changing. I've pretty much been short my whole life. 5'6" has pretty much been my max level cap. Hopefully soon there'll be a new patch or a new expansion set to this godforsaken world where they can increase my height without having to obliterate my fucking legs in some back alley meth lab. But anyway, that's not really part of the story about me being short. Anyway, I was going through a really hard porn addiction phase. I was an absolute porn fiend, and one day before class, I wanted to see some vagina. I wanted to ejaculate. I wanted to just bust a nut real hard before class. But I couldn't. I watched a lot of porn for the better part of 25 minutes, which for me was a bender and a half. Usually I would have come 3 times during that period back then. But on this cursed day, my well was dried up and I had no more semen left to give my boxers. It's also worth noting as an important detail, during this time I never needed to jerk off. I never even knew how. I'd always just ejaculate after getting an erection, and sometimes I'd try different techniques like slapping it around or something to see if that helped the sensations or anything, but I never really jerked off. That's the point here. I could ejaculate using just the power of my intellect and euphoric gamer senses. I was able to just propel cum when I was stimulated visually or mentally. Alright, so now take that little nugget of wisdom and put it in your back pocket and save it for trivia night. It's going to play a major role in the plot a little further down the line in this story. So I wanted to stay home and just ejaculate because I thought something was wrong with me. I thought my dick stopped working or God banned me from ejaculating. I just thought something was awry, and I wanted to stay home, but my parents wouldn't let me because that day we had a school play to perform. It was Hamlet, and I was playing the role of fucking P. Diddy. Who's the character with the P in his name? Palpatine? Jesus, it's definitely not fucking Palpatine. I'm not playing Chancellor Palpatine or anything like that. It's like Polonius. I was playing Polonius, and he gets stabbed And I guess that's like crucial to the story maybe. So I couldn't miss it. My parents didn't want me to miss it. They'd already planned on going to see it. So I couldn't skip school that day to ejaculate. Plus, that's not exactly a strong reason. I was very forward with why I didn't want to go to school. I was telling my parents, look, I just want to come. No sane parents can be like, you know what, that's a good excuse, Harold. Let's not send him to school today. So I get sent to school. I go through school per usual, and the play was supposed to take place right after school ended. So, I was able to push back the desire to ejaculate and all that for the entire school day and up till the play, and I was rehearsing my lines or my actions, and all of a sudden, all at once, it was like a light switch went off. It was like I was having a fucking Jimmy Neutron brain blast in like the costume room, and all I was seeing was porn. Like my eyes just rolled into the back of my head, and all I was looking at was porn. Like I was Professor Xavier who just jacked into Cerebro, and I was seeing all of the porn that I'd ever seen in my life all at once. And I got hard as a fucking rock. And I knew that was dangerous because, like I said earlier, I never needed to like physically stimulate myself to ejaculate. So I'm sitting there in my Polonius costume on the verge of just blowing a hard load into it right before going on stage, and I'm panicking because we're about to perform this play and I have some shit I gotta do in the play. Like I'd hate to be the guy that gets stabbed in the play, the curtain rolls back, and then all of a sudden I'm just laying on the floor with a boner and a wet spot in front of the whole school and all the school's parents. That'd be terrifying for all of them and myself. So I'm trying to brainstorm ideas. I didn't want to just go blow a load into the toilet because that thought never really occurred to me then. So my plan was to just start chugging water as quickly as I could and just try and pee out my erection. I thought that would work if I just kept urine flowing the best I could. I only had like T-minus 20 minutes till showtime, so I killed like 2 water bottles and the plan worked. I was able to like basically piss out all of my boner, and I was able to perform the play the best I could. But the lesson here is, no half measures. If you feel like you need to ejaculate, then fucking do it. Get it out of the way because you never know when it might come back to haunt you. You might be in the middle of a school play and then all of a sudden you're spitting out baby gravy into your costume and trying not to cry in front of the whole class. Just don't edge for like 9 hours. Just get it done, get it over with, and then be productive for the rest of the day. That's the lesson. I guess the lesson is quite literally jerk off if you need to. That's it. See ya. There is no video more infamous than 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Over a decade later, and that name still commands power. Just saying that name produces a genuine response of repulsion from whoever hears it, because it's an unforgettable experience. I'm not going to get too deep into the lore of it, because that's not what I'm here to focus on, but 2 Girls, 1 Cup is actually the trailer to a Brazilian fetish film called Hungry Bitches. It's about a minute long, and in it, there's one girl who spreads her ass and shits into a cup, and then her and her friend take turns eating that shit from the cup, like Ouroboros, just constantly eating her own shit. And then eventually the girls take turns puking into the cup and then eating the puke and then puking into each other's mouths. So basically it's like a behind the scenes look at a Burger King kitchen, like this is how the meal is prepared there. And all while this is going on, there is a French classical piano song accompanying all of this action. It pretty much seems like something you would have expected from like a G.G. Allin concert. It's a really wild video that even if you hear that song or something that even sounds like that song, it's going to trigger like a Winter Soldier event in you if you've seen the video in the past, because it's something that you just don't forget. It just constantly lives in your brain somewhere. Now, it came out in 2007. That's when it really popped off. And this is around the time where the most popular things on the internet were shock videos. 2 Girls, 1 Cup was probably one of the major videos that took the internet from just being online niche to the mainstream. And it made parents afraid of the cyberspace, the boogeyman that lives inside of that dimension they don't understand online. And 2 Girls, 1 Cup wasn't alone here. You know, you had Goatsy, BME Pain Olympics, One Man, One Jar, Mr. Hands, Blue Waffle. There was a lot of other ones, but atop that mountain of shock shit sat the queens of shitting, which was 2 Girls, 1 Cup. It was the most popular one. So basically back in 2007, around this time period, what would happen is people would send links to these shock videos and pictures to their friends to try and gross them out, and then YouTubers would even sometimes react to them. In fact, 2 Girls, 1 Cup reactions are among the first reactions ever posted to YouTube, so kind of pioneering that entire meta. So, you'd send a message to your friend on AOL Instant Messenger. Bro, you're not going to believe this. Tom Brady just got hit by 15 meteors. He's dead. And then send a link, but the link actually just opens Goatsy or Two Girls, One Cup or something. You'd prank your friends like that. That's how they started to spread. But Two Girls, One Cup spread a lot more than the others. And I think that's probably because it wasn't as hardcore as the others. I don't even know if that's the right word. But in BME Pain Olympics, you had people mutilating themselves, cutting their fucking dicks off and shit. In Mr. Hands, someone dies. Like, compared to those, Two Girls, One Cup is just really gross. So it was more accessible as a shock video. It wasn't as, bloody, violent death as some of the others that were floating around at the time. It was just absolutely revolting. So I think that really helped it during that time. But anyway, there arose a theory, a game theory, if you will, that Two Girls, One Cup was actually faked. Now, this isn't some crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, because at this time it was also confirmed that BME Pain Olympics, that other shock video I mentioned, was fake. That was not real, at least not all of it. So that being confirmed as fake, and then Two Girls, One Cup being in the crosshairs, there was a lot lending credibility to the idea that it could be a faked video. They argued that the consistency of the girl's shit made no sense. And if you watch the video, you'd probably agree, because her asshole, erupts into chocolate pudding. Like, it actually looks like when you go to the ice cream machine and pull down on the lever for some chocolate ice cream and it all just kind of comes out and swirls around. That is actually what it looks like. So the leading theory was that it was chocolate mousse that she had consumed whole and then somehow was able to, force it through her digestive tract and out her asshole all in, clean lumps. Which, saying it out loud now, seems ludicrous. She would have had to have undergone some kind of crazy fucking surgeries or something to make, a poop passageway that works like that. Or perhaps she's just built different, like an actual X-Men mutant with a superpower to consume ice cream and immediately shit it out in its original state. But the shit is weird. When you watch her shit, it's like watching a dam blow up into shit into a cup. I could see why people would start targeting that as it must be some kind of Hollywood special effects. And then for the puking part, they said what was actually happening is they were using fake puke, gag puke, like that shit that you would switch in your mouth and you'd pretend to puke to scare your parents or your friends or whatever. So that was the theory. It's faked and here's why. And they started, spreading that around the same time that BME was actually confirmed to be fake. So I actually believed it for a while, until I brought it up on stream earlier this week, which is why I'm even talking about it now, because I brought this up, someone mentioned Two Girls, One Cup, and I was like, oh yeah, wasn't that video faked? And the chat was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, that's real. And then I had to reevaluate everything, because I haven't seen the video in years, so I had to go back and do my research, and now I'm caught in a shit pickle with no cup to catch it, because I think I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it is real. So I've been lied to. I've been fed shit by the overlords of feces, the people behind the curtain pulling the strings and controlling the narrative. I ate their propaganda just like they ate shit. And now I feel betrayed. I went through the last, it's probably been 6 years since I saw the video. Last 6 years being oh yeah, I remember that video. It was fake, but it was, a pretty wild experience still. And now it's oh my god, it was real. I was right the first time to be afraid. So the thing that really sold me is watching it back, it is so outlandish to think that any of it's fake because none of it at all could be. Even in the craziest pipe dream of she ate chocolate mousse and then shit out the chocolate ice cream or something, that's, I don't think that's ever happened in the history of the human species, ever. And then the fake puke could work if you didn't see their mouths full of shit many times before they started puking. So, there'd be no room to have fake puke, plus they stick their hands in their mouth. Now, going back to the soft-serve chocolate ice cream theory, theoretically, she could have spread her asshole and had her friend dump chocolate ice cream into her butthole and then close on it, and then when they were ready for it, come game time, she could just fucking burst it out, really fucking cannon that, railgun it out. That is something to consider, because buttholes can do that. There was another popular video, this was back when I was in college, where it was a porn video where girls were spreading their assholes and then having another girl put golf balls into them. So that it was basically mini golf, but with the rectum. So, but buttholes are capable of this. That's a pretty wild video too. Not as crazy as this one, but basically the golf balls would just fall right into their asshole and kind of swirl around in there sometimes if it wasn't a great putt. So you could put ice cream in there and close on it and then blast it out. That is a possibility. But for this video in particular, I just don't think that's what they actually did here. I don't think that's how the sausage was made. And the reason for that is because that just wouldn't really make any sense, because it doesn't really look like ice cream. First of all, it looks like actual fucking shit. It looks like shit you would find like in some dilapidated porta potty somewhere. Like it does look like shit. It doesn't really look like ice cream. So unless they really messied up the ice cream, that doesn't really fit the appearance of it. And when they're eating it, it absolutely doesn't look like they're eating ice cream at all. So I truly don't think they did that tactic with faking it with ice cream. So, but even setting that aside, I wanted more concrete proof that it was all real. So I started looking up the conspiracies. I went to the old forums, and then the people debunking the original videos, and their explanations didn't make sense to me. So then I went to more official sources, because I'm not the only one that also heard this. There was articles I found of people talking about was it real or fake, and in every single article they all came to the same agreement that it was real. It would have been nice if they had an interview with the director. However, the director of the film has only ever once, in the entire history of this thing's existence, only ever once acknowledged it publicly and said anything about it, and it was during like a defense case. Wang actually made a video talking about the whole history of Two Girls, One Cup, so I implore you to watch that if you're interested more in like where it came from and all the things about it. But I can't find anything from the director talking about it, but everything he does and everything he has done is real. He does real fetish work, and he has never like faked it or used prop poopy or anything. So his track record would indicate that it's real, even though he himself has never commented on the authenticity of it other than defending its existence. For example, like when he was being told that it was illegal to produce this kind of content in the States, he never said, oh, but it's not real, it's fake. He was like, I didn't know, I wasn't allowed to do this. This is okay in Brazil. Sorry, okay. So him, like, I feel like if he had said it was fake, he would have had an easy out, which he didn't do. So just everything points to it being real. The actresses that star in it also still star in his other movies that are shit focused. Apparently they are still eating shit on film together. So that's cool, I guess. But that also proves that they are, like, they actually do that. They probably didn't fake it this one time and now do it for real. It was probably been real this entire time, you know? In one of the articles I read, they also interviewed another popular like scat fetish director, and he says that it's not even that hard to find actors and actresses that are willing to eat shit on camera. So I'm just spitballing here and saying that it's probably, with everything here, real, and that the whole theory of it being fake was just some fucking copium. I understand why people would want to make that up, because it's a lot easier to just believe that what they watched was gross but fake. Kind of like a movie that disturbs you. It's like, okay, but it was all fake at the end of the day. But this shit was real. Shit was actually real. And I went through like the last 6 or so years just being like, yeah, okay, so it was fake. Damn. Crazy. But anyway, just wanted to share this slight investigation I did. There's not a whole lot of information about it, so I could only like get together a few articles and bits and pieces from other places on the internet, but nothing too thorough, unfortunately. So this is where we're at. I'm pretty sure it's real. I don't think under any circumstances it even could be faked. It'd take like some crazy CGI and special effects to somehow pull that off that convincingly. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah. I've got a secret, and I'm not afraid to share it right now. Much like Bruce Wayne keeping his Batman identity a secret, I've got something that I've been keeping from you. And you're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but it is the truth. I used to be a virgin. Not only did I used to be a virgin, I used to be a turbo virgin who was extremely proud of the fact that he was a virgin. In my early college years, I used to brag about being a virgin to anyone that would listen. I was like those dudes that stand on corners with the sign saying the end is near, just talking about doomsday. I was that with virginity. And every day was virginity day for me. I made a video talking about this a little while back, about how I used to brag about being a virgin. I really went hard on that being a core part of my identity in my early college years. When I did talk to girls, I would treat it like I was on Shark Tank and I was pitching my virginity to them like a business that they should invest in. It was very, sad and pathetic. But I figured I'd share a few more stories from this era of my life, this arc in the Charlie anime, because there's some real golden nuggets in there that I think maybe a few of you could learn from. Though I don't imagine too many of you watching this right now think virginity is cool or something worth bragging about all the time, unless of course you're trying to be a pastor or teaching abstinence at a high school or some shit as like a sex ed teacher. But anyway, I wanted to share a couple of these stories. So the first tale from the compendium of Charles White's virginity stories is actually one that I shared on a stream recently. It was my sophomore year of college, 2014. Five Nights at Freddy's is the hottest shit, just came out. We've never seen anything like that. Our assholes blown wide open by Five Nights at Freddy's. It was a dark and stormy night, and my roommate had a girl over. It wasn't anyone romantic, they weren't together, they weren't, anything at all. It was a friend of his from high school who came down to party at the university. I did not go to a party that night. I stayed in the dorm room watching cartoons. After the partying had ceased and everyone had their fun, my roommate went to bed, but she didn't. She sat on the couch and watched whatever cartoon I was watching at the time. I think I was watching Justice League or some shit, so she was wet. And she just started talking about how much fun she had at the party and eventually asked me why I didn't go with them. And I tried to play it cool. I said, I had better things to do. And if I had a cigar, I would have lit it in that moment right there and just blew a big fucking puff. I was really trying to be suave about it, but the reality is the reason I didn't go was because I wasn't invited. It was a very low-key party, and this was when I still wasn't super familiar with my roommates. They were probably afraid I'd crawl on top of one of the tables and start trying to lead like a virginity chant, like, raise your hands if you're a virgin. Oh, just me? Even better, something weird. So they didn't ask me to go, which is why I wasn't there. But anyway, of course, me being this virginity evangelist that wouldn't shut the fuck up about virginity, we talked more about some shit, I don't remember what, but of course, me being the mysterious anime loser virgin extraordinaire back then, I eventually steered our conversation into a talk of virginity. And I started telling her about, how great it is being a virgin and how, maybe I'll lose it soon if I'm really feeling like it, as if I had, a ton of options, like my fucking cell phone was full of applicants to take my virginity. And she said something that still rings in my ears sometimes when I'm trying to go to bed. After telling her all of this about my virginity and telling it with a real smile on my face, really fucking saying it with my chest like I am a virgin, she hit 19-year-old Charles with a giggle and a wow, that's so sad. And she thought I was kidding, so she started making jokes about it, and I insisted that no, I was being serious, and I was like, damn. On the inside I was like, damn, that was brutal, that shit hurt, but she's not wrong. The more I say it out loud, the more I realize how sad it is. And then she goes on to say, I'll suck your dick if you want. And I went into a full fucking meltdown mode. It was like something out of Tom and Jerry when like the stars are going around when they're like knocked out. I was having like a fucking meltdown. And I eventually just went into like full Redditor mode. I was like, oh gee, whoa. No, madame, I could never ask such a thing of you. Absolutely not. I would not have that. I'd like my virginity to stay, thank you very much, you harpy, you succubus. So I stood my ground and declined the blowjob, which was a more than generous offer from her, might I add. She was just gonna take one for the team, a real champion. Like, what a great friend my roommate had. And honestly, I probably saved her life by declining that blowjob because I don't think she quite knew what she was dealing with and getting into. She was about to bite off more than she could chew. She was like Icarus flying way too close to the sun. If she did give me that blowjob, I would have blasted an unholy cum shot at an unreal velocity that probably would have pierced the back of her throat and gone out the other side. It would have looked like she got hit by a fucking sniper. My wiener had never even been accidentally touched by a human female. The closest thing my cock ever got to a girl touching it back during that time was when a girl accidentally hit me in the balls with her criminology book when we were standing up from the table in the classroom. So if she blew me, I would have busted a nut of biblical proportion, a dangerous nut. So really, I made a noble decision and saved her life by declining that. And I think that incident right there where she said it was so sad that she was just going to offer me a blowjob really put it in perspective how sad it really was. Because it was so sad that not only did she tell me to my face how sad it was, but she tried to offer like consolation, as if she was trying to console someone who was grieving. Pretty wild stuff. And I figured I'll share one more story because this one's just as embarrassing. Probably not as embarrassing though. It's probably worse. Before my sophomore year of college, my high school had a reunion party at one of the girls' houses, And this is when I just started drinking, and I was getting after it. I was fucking hitting that alcohol real hard. And one thing that I talked about this in the previous bragging about virginity video, but one thing I used to do is I would get drunk and start bragging about my virginity in different accents. Well, I remember at this high school reunion party with all my old high school classmates, I reached that level of drunk where it was time that Irish Charlie come out and start talking about his virginity. So for the whole night that I can remember before total blackout, I was talking in an Irish accent about how great it is being a virgin and how everyone who had lost their virginity had just failed to reach enlightenment. I was the happiest one being a virgin, all in an Irish accent, of course. And then I do remember one of the girls kissed me and I pre-came down my leg. I don't know if it was like a pity kiss or something, or like pent up feelings from high school, though I doubt it because I was a real fucking weirdo in high school. But I remember one of the girls kissing me, and I pre-came down my leg. At least that's what I tell myself, that it was pre-cum. Honestly, it could have just been a full load that I blew down my leg. I really don't know. But I do know I wasn't invited to the follow-up high school reunion party the next year. So there's a very good chance that I might have just shit myself, honestly, down my leg. It could have been anything. It could have been any mystery fluid coming out of there. I couldn't tell you. But yeah. Just a couple more tales from this time where I thought bragging about being a virgin was cool. Again, the lesson to take away: bragging about virginity is a weird thing to do. So yeah, probably just avoid that. Don't do that. That's it. See ya. Christmas is a time of year full of lies and deceit. Every Christmas movie ever made is spreading the same propaganda, the same lesson, that it's always better to give than to receive. What a load of baloney. That's just straight up horseradish. That's one of the biggest lies ever told, up there with the time I used to tell girls on Tinder that I was 5'10". So I'm just going to tell you right now, in almost every situation, it is better to receive than to give. Case in point, today's video topic. I subscribe to Markipliers OnlyFans, so I received some tasteful nudes from Markiplier, which is far better than had I given him my nudes. It probably would have ruined his Christmas. But I'm going to have my cake and eat it too, because while I may have received these wonderful pictures, I'm going to give you all my review of them. I have a keen eye for quality when it comes to the human body. I'm one of the few owners on this planet of an ovipositor, which is an alien wiener that gives you little lubed eggs that you push through so that way when you put it inside yourself you can lay eggs deep within. There is few things when it comes to anatomy that I haven't seen. So there was nothing Markiplier could post that was going to shock me. So I'm coming in here and giving an objective review of each and every one of his pictures. Obviously I can't show them since it's paywalled content, but I can at least show you this one, which is his header, his profile pic banner. So this is the Markiplier OnlyFans page. It is an official page and all of the proceeds are going to the Cincinnati Children's Hospital, which is a great cause. Now let's take a peek at this bad boy here. So his header is just the standard classic paint me like one of your French girls pose. It's an iconic one, but it has a lot of pizzazz here. Mark's wearing a silk robe and he's using a wine bottle as a substitute for his penis and an erection. You can see it's pointing straight up to the sky, pointing to Jesus, letting him know that while he may have died for our sins, we can't stop sinning. What I find most impressive about this piece is that Markiplier was able to hide his 15-inch whopper behind that little ice bucket there. I have to imagine, and this may be breaking the magician's code, I have to imagine he used gaff tape to tape down the beast so that way it didn't get out of control and ruin the artistic shot here. But that's just a little game theory. So the first series of photos cost $3, and I gotta tell you, I got a lot of bang for my buck out of that. The first one was a boxing photo that looked like it was an AI-generated piece of art that was trying to improvise Markiplier naked. So it's got Mark's bare ass facing the camera, and he's got his gloves up. He's got his set thrown up, and he's ready to lay down the hammers. And he's fighting another Markiplier, but this one's got a black eye. He's also nude, and the boxing glove from the previous Markiplier clone is blocking his cock. It's a cool action shot that delivers a deeper message about how sometimes the person that beats us up the most, our worst enemy, is ourselves. So I really appreciate what he was trying to say with the piece while also still trying to stimulate arousal. But I will say it's not the most sexually engrossing piece I've seen, so this one's going to have to be a 6 out of 10 from me. Now the next photo I actually think is the strongest in the set. It's Markiplier naked in a forest chopping some wood, obviously for the fireplace in order to keep him and his family warm. He's also doing the classic bicep flex while finishing up the hard day as a lumberjack. It's a very strong piece that speaks to the bravado and machismo associated with woodcutting. And I would like to point something out. Markiplier's got some pepperonis. Like, those nipples mean business. His areolas are so full. It's like those were made for suckling. And they're on full display here, which is much appreciated. I do think that's going to be a 10 out of 10 piece, the strongest in the set by far. Now, the final piece in the set of 3 of the Triforce of Power is Markiplier as a lifeguard, while Markiplier as a swimmer is getting attacked by a shark. They're both nude. Both Markipliers are completely bare ass. But the Markiplier that's getting attacked by a shark has the shark biting through his cock and his ass, which is incredible. Like, the street sharks showed no mercy on Markiplier today. And lifeguard Markiplier, also nude, has the flotation device at the ready, and it looks like a big penis. So it's a very interesting piece, and it tells like an entire story about the dangers of swimming without the lifeguard nearby, or the dangers of having a lifeguard that's a little too preoccupied because he's already been bitten by the shark. So I actually think it's an interesting piece. It may not be the most sexually gratifying one, but it is a very thought-provoking one. It's going to be an 8 out of 10 for me there. Now we're moving on to his most recent drop, and the first one is him as a construction worker doing road work and holding up a sign that says, "Come." A very good piece, very in your face. There's no deeper message here. He's doing road work, him and Markiplier clone doing road work, both naked, and I just think this is like what it's all about. When you think Markiplier naked, you probably think of Markiplier doing road work naked, so he delivers on your expectations. He doesn't getting into any filler content, you know, it's just right there. It knows what it is, so I appreciate the bluntness of the piece. That's going to be a 9 out of 10 from me on the naked Markiplier road worker. Now the next one I could write a whole thesis on. Markiplier truly outdid himself with the second in this set. It's Markiplier as a sports fan, but there's like 15 of them. He does the shadow clone jutsu and they're all fucking butt-ass naked. And they're all doing incredible celebratory poses. It's an overload of the senses. You don't know where to look. Your attention is drawn in all types of different directions. You got your eyes fucking splitting in different directions trying to process all the information. It's a sensory overload, but in the best possible way. Is the penis over there? Is the nutsack over there? Where's his ass? Oh my god, he's very excited. Did they just get a touchdown? You're just asking questions and you're satisfied the entire way. I think it's the strongest across both sets, so I'm just going to have to give this one a 10 out of 10. Like, the more I look at it, the more I learn. Now, moving on to the final piece, and by far the most avant-garde piece, it is Markiplier naked going through a portal where you get caught in that, like, endless portal falling. So Markiplier's torso is reaching up and grabbing Markiplier's ankle, where his ass is above him. So he's looking up at his own asshole and grabbing it from down here from the other portal. It's a very interesting piece, and the visual effects are on par with like a Marvel TV show, honestly. It's pretty impressive stuff. But I will say, there's room for improvement. Maybe he could have been reaching up with 2 hands and spreading his legs like a goddamn Thanksgiving turkey. Like, I think there was more he could have done with the pose. But overall, still a very strong piece. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. Now, he still has 1 drop left, and I'm hoping he goes whole hog and just lets it all hang out. So he like goatsies himself. He's got his wiener flopping around everywhere. Like, it just becomes extreme. Instead of tasteful nudes, it becomes the least classy nudes ever made. It just is like a giant jump scare. But yeah, I just wanted to rate the current nudes out there before Drop 3 comes out, since there's a lot of hype surrounding it. And yeah, overall, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's a wonderful thing he's doing. He's doing it to raise money for charity. And I know when he made the OnlyFans, it was so popular that it like crashed the site for an hour, which is fucking nuts. So anyway, that's about it. See ya. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I consider myself a bad rap enthusiast, a connoisseur in finding horrible rap atrocities from bad rap battles filmed in the late 90s on fucking flip phone cameras and 30-pound camcorders to regular modern rap music videos and rap battles that are just absolutely fucking abysmal. I love them all. I've seen thousands. I've dove as far down the rectum of bad rap as one man could possibly go. I have become a human colonoscopy for finding bad rap in the anus of the internet. And now I have finally found the biggest shit nugget of bad rap there is. This comes from a porn star named Riley Reid, a porn star I'm actually quite familiar with, a big fan of her work. Riley, if you're watching this, big fan, keep up the good work out there, but please give up the rap game. She released a song called Riley Reid Rap Original. Let's go ahead and watch this, and I'm going to try and break it down on important lines that I'd like to talk about.
Red face, put that water on your mustache.
I'm going to stop it right here for a moment. Red face, put that water on your mustache. What the fuck does that mean? Is the protagonist of this song a man who's just been exhausted after running so much, now he's red in the face and you're wanting him to put the sweat on his mustache? I'm confused by the first line, and I just thought I should point that shit out.
Porno swag, 100 G's, Louis duffel bag. Paying pussy, make that dick have a heart attack. Who that is? Riley Reid with my booty fat. Leslie Les swag, porno cam, damn. Pimp that bitch, women and the men. Got the money out the flick, headed to the trap. Pussy getting so wet from the money stack.
Pussy wet from the money stack. Pussy wet from the money stack. Pussy wet from the money stack.
Triple stacks, bitch, we clean out 100 pack. You ain't heard what I said, nigga, run it back. Maga ho, maga nigga, whip a trick, hit a lick. Want a pussy ass, cornbread, fuck niggas. 305 Dade County, yeah, we know for getting rowdy. Spit stringing from my mouth, let you fuck my face.
That is a perfectly timed what in the background, similar to how mainstream rap always has those yeahs in the background. She's using the what sample, and it couldn't have been more beautiful timing. Let you fuck my face, then the background what? You know, that's good stuff right there. I will give her. That is some artistic ingenuity that I can respect. Now, I know Riley Reid's out here spitting fire and cum in these lines, so I'm going to go ahead and give a little recap of the lyrics to this point. So from the start, red face, put that water on your mustache, porno swag, 100 G's, Louis duffel bag, pink pussy, make that dick have a heart attack, who that is, Riley Reid with my booty fat, Leslie Les swag, porno cam damn, pimp that bitch, woman and the men. Got the money out the flick, headed to the trap. Pussy getting so wet from the money stack. Triple stacks, bitch. We can out 100 pack. You ain't heard what I said. I'm gonna omit that for now, Riley. Run it back. My god, whore. My god, omitted. Whip a trick. Hello, lick one. I'm pussy as combat fuck, omitted. 305 Dade County. Yeah, we known for getting rowdy. Spit stringing from my mouth, let you fuck my face. So there's a little brief recap to bring everyone up to speed here. The lyrics resemble some of those romantic Facebook posts that people leave on those softcore porn Facebook sites that are just incomprehensible, overly horny old men who don't speak English very well. Suck my milk baggy fuck. Oh, come on, baby girl. Fuck face with ass, you know, stuff like that. It's pretty remarkable stuff here that Riley Reid's creating.
Good nutritious nut on deck, nigga. Eat me out, nigga. Eat me out, nigga. Beat it out, beat it out, beat it out, nigga. Drink it out, drink it out. Beat it out, beat it out, beat it out, nigga. Drink it out, beat it out.
Those are Riley Reid's moans that she's sampling in the song. I'd recognize those moans anywhere. Now, like I said, I've seen thousands of bad raps. I've seen them all. From fucking school teachers that create a rap music video for the first day of classes for their new 7th graders, and they're trying to appeal to them to make the students think that they're a cool teacher and with the times, but it just comes out really cringeworthy, you know? My name is Professor C. Let's have some fun this year in history. Do your homework. Don't be a jerk. Get it to me on time. I'll give you a dime. You know, shit like that. And still, this Riley Reid music video takes the cake for the worst rap I have ever heard. And that's not an honor I bestow upon something lightly. Not at all. It took a lot of thought. But the more I think about it, the worse this rap gets. This is just easily the worst rap I've ever heard. 2 lines I really liked in it, though. Pussy wet from the money stack, and good nutritious nut. That was a pretty solid line. That line is gold right there. If the whole rap could have kept that same intensity and momentum, you know, good nutritious nut, pussy, wet, money stacks, we might have been onto something here, a good rap even. But alas, it fell apart. That's it. See ya. Girl made her dad beat up a homeless boy? What? What? I'm actually cheating on Darman right now. That sounds like a video. Streamer cheats on Darman. Instantly regrets it. Alright, job interview, all looking good. Hopefully some crazy woman doesn't have her dad beat me up for some reason. That would suck.
Great.
That'd ruin the whole day.
You out here scaring my daughter with a gun?
What?
You done mess with...
And then they don't find a gun and is that where it ends?
Not in here, Dad.
What did you do with it? Huh, boy? Mandy, tear his tin up.
No!
Inside.
What is this? Some kind of gun paper?
Darius Thompson, huh? Looks like you missed your interview.
How?
I don't want to see you.
It's only been a few seconds. It's literally been a few seconds at max. What the fuck is happening? Is time accelerating at a crazy pace? Are they close to a black hole right now? Like, what is going on? It was literally... It may have been 4 seconds in total. You're probably still right on time for the interview unless you were already late when you were leaving. I don't know why she Fortnite danced on him either. This is very confusing.
But I trust you, and I'm not gonna let this stop me from going to my interview.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Just, like, toss your shit back in, and then you can still make it.
You're 3 hours late for your appointment. Is there a good reason for that?
3 hours?
I'm sorry.
More like 3 seconds. What do you mean?
Trouble, but
How?
I'm here now.
This guy...
Again, I promise.
So he just overslept.
So, I have a spare room at my house.
What?
I'd like to invite you to stay with me until you get on your feet.
But how did you know I was homeless?
You would do that for me?
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
That sounds like a trap.
Some new clothes.
This is gonna be like one of those horror movies where they invite people over that have nowhere else to go and then fuck them up.
I won't let you down.
This is absolutely like a horror movie plot.
Mandy.
Is something.
You had your dad grab my shirt once.
I know I don't look the best. I've been living on the street since.
Oh, just throw up one of these and then Fortnite dance on her. Oh, that'll jog her memory. Let's go, Darius. This is your chance. Power move it. Oh, you remember now, do you?
You and your father. You destroyed my tent.
Oh my gosh, that was you.
It was a good prank though, right, Darius? Like, we were all laughing at that one.
Sorry. Can open?
Oh.
My way up, and I'm the owner of this company.
Oh,
If
wow.
I had let you and your father's bullying keep me down, I'd never
That being
be
said,
today.
get the fuck out of my office.
I'm so
And then hit one of these on her.
Don't be sorry.
Get her some of... Oh, and maybe some of this.
I gave
Oh!
you both the same day it happened. Miss.
Yes, you can go from janitor to owner of a multi-million-dollar company in a year. I've seen it happen all the time. I don't know why you're questioning that.
Doesn't mean. One second.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call. It's oh, looks like your job position has been filled. Hey man, what the fuck is this? I mean, this was a pretty extreme example of that, where a girl randomly decided to have her retired police officer father beat up a homeless man. For no reason. I don't know how often that happens. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it happens quite a bit. Husband leaves wife for helping homeless classmate. Honey, I can't do this anymore. You helped a homeless man. You're tainted. You're filthy now. We're done. Get the fuck out of here. And take the homeless man with you.
Stop! Why are you following me?
I got fucking shit stains on my shirt. I'm gross.
I didn't mean
I'm trying to
to
get a fucking new shirt.
Oh my god! Me! Julie!
Julie? Yeah, you shot spitballs at me. For years. Oh, fuck. Great. It's wonderful to see you, Julie.
Familiar. How have you been?
Oh my god!
What the fuck is... Oh, poop stains. Ew. Ooh. Ew. Ooh. Yucky. Gross. That is gross.
My husband and I, Oh, I think that's him. The shower's right there. Give me a minute.
Yeah, this won't look suspicious. Hey, honey, I'm home. Wait, why is there...
Babe, you're
Is there a
home.
man in my shower right now? You were here alone with him?
Are you hungry?
Oh, okay.
Company?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, I tried calling you.
She can stay here as long as she needs to.
It's not a she, it's a he.
Okay, I'm marking in the shower and I'm ripping his dick off.
Into our home? A dirty bum? He needs to leave immediately. You choose. It's him or I.
Don't.
That was quick. He was just looking for an excuse.
I am done. I want a divorce. Yeah, that's it. I'll send for my stuff later.
Oh,
Whoever wants to help.
that all happened extremely fast. Hey, I'm single now.
From upstairs.
So not only did the homeless man not get kicked out, he lost his own home now.
No, it's okay, it's not.
And now Chris has this to himself.
We got this.
What a champion. That was a marriage speedrun.
I want to apologize for how I acted. I am so sorry.
David.
Yeah, you just gave us your apartment for free. Like,
I was
You were
wrong.
literally
I
still
realize now.
paying rent for us
You're
to
not a
live
friend.
there, and now we're married. Like, we were fucking there, and you were paying for it, David.
I just wish I had a guy who could to hell you know?
Propose. Chris, propose. Now's your
I
chance.
wasn't gonna say anything before because
I learned this lesson in the last place, in the last video.
What? What is
Yeah, I'm learning, baby. Wife finds out husband has weird addiction. No, it's not a fucking addiction, god damn it. I just like diapers. What? This is gonna be a pornography addiction, I'm calling it now. Or like a foot fetish addiction or something.
Are you hiding something?
No, what would give you that idea?
No, of course not.
No, what? I always hold my computer like
Now,
that.
why?
No! Oh
Oh
god.
my god. Carl!
What? They're just...
You're supposed to be at work. And
No, it's not porn. What do you... It's like... It's called hentai, first of all.
Am I not good?
Work.
Fuck, my watch has internet. Oh god, no. No! No! I'm googling titties again! No!
Are you ready to go to the
Oh, this is... Okay, this is different than just watching
yes.
porn. His wife was hiding in the trunk the whole
I
time.
want your services. Oh my god. Where did you come from? Look, this is not what it looks like at all.
I was standing outside the car. I heard everything.
How? You were standing outside the car and Carl didn't see you?
And you stopped yourself.
It took a lot of strength.
And I have more faith in you, and somehow I can trust you more.
How do you know this is the only, like, fuck appointment that he scheduled, though? This could be like his 100th one for all you know. This should make you trust him a lot less,
The moral of the
considering that he
story
went
is,
through
porn addiction
the, like, steps of getting prostitution, right? It shows that he knows where to find prostitutes, and it shows that he has no problem going to meet them. Just because he turned one away doesn't mean that he... Hey, who am I to poke holes in it? Earlier this year, I made that video talking about how Jackson, Danny, Matt, and I were going to be writing a full-fledged porn production for a very well-known company in the industry. It was going to be a very expensive budget from the company, and it was going to be an episodic release. In total, we made a runtime of something that would go right around like 4 hours, so it was basically the fucking Lord of the Rings of porn. And we created an actual masterpiece. If you took all of the porn out of our porno, it would still be an American classic, like a really fucking great movie. But unfortunately, we did all of that before the pandemic hit and shut everything down, fucked everyone in the ass. So they never actually made our porn series. And I thought it'd just be a real waste to let this sacred script go into obscurity and forgotten, lost to the tides of time. So I thought it'd be fun to at least share some of episode 1 with all of you. I don't want to give away any of the big twists or developments in the universe we've created, because who knows, maybe we shop the script around and it lands a home on Amazon Prime as Rian Johnson's Knives Out sequel. So just in case, to err on the side of caution, I'm only going to share with you like the main points in some of the dialogue so you can see where we were going and what we're setting up, but I'm not going to reveal any of the big shit to you. You're just going to have to sit there and salivate waiting to see if this will ever be finished. So, to break it down in a nutshell, it's called The Fucking at Rock Hard Manor. For what it's worth, I thought that title was way too aggressive. It comes out raw, no rubber right away. I just didn't really like the title of it too much, but that I was overruled by the group, so that's the title, The Fucking at Rock Hard Manor. And it is a murder mystery thriller pants filler. So it's basically, basically just think of Knives Out. I think that's a really good example right away. So as you can likely imagine, the story takes place in Rock Hard Manor, where Shock Rockhard has called together his closest friends and business partners to celebrate the creation of the Good Sensation Mark I. The Good Sensation Mark I device was created by none other than the esteemed inventor, Dr. Zachariah Good Sensation. The Good Sensation Mark I is basically a ray gun that cures PTSD. Well, actually, think of it less of a ray gun and more like the microwave emitter from Batman Begins that fucking vaporizes all the water in Gotham. It's that, but it cures PTSD. Now, if I may, I'd like to read you some dialogue from Dr. Zachariah Good Sensation. This is when he's trying to flirt with some of the women attending this celebration. This is unlike anything you've ever seen before, I guarantee it. You don't understand. How could you, though? It's utterly ridiculous to think you could. I myself have been trapped in my lab for 3 years trying to understand it, held hostage by my own hubris, crafted from the finest polymers I could get my hands on thanks to Shock's financing. Ah, yes, such a delicate balance of madness and genius. You know, girls, if I had made even one miscalculation in the creation of this, I may have very well lost my life. And as you can likely imagine, the women were beyond impressed, sought in panties immediately. However, not too long after this interaction, something goes awry, as is standard in murder mysteries. So Shock Rock Hard is making an announcement, thanking everyone for being there to celebrate this, because he's very happy. Shock Rock Hard, as you well know, he's one of the most decorated veterans in the entire history of the American Armed Forces, and he unfortunately suffers from PTSD, so he had Dr. Zacharias, Good Sensation, working on a device to help alleviate his troubles, as well as his other comrades. Shock Rockhard and his wife, Tootie Rockhard, are at the top of their staircase making this announcement when they ask all the attendees to raise their glass in a toast. However, the lights turn off. A loud, euphoric moan is heard, followed by the sound of a body tumbling down the stairs. It sounds like 10 wet potatoes all getting pushed down a staircase at once. The lights turn back on, and everyone horrified as they see Shock Rockhard's lifeless body at the base of the staircase. Who could have murdered Shock Rockhard? He had no enemies. He was loved by all. The lights were only off for a matter of seconds, and there's no visible wounds on Shock Rockhard's body, other than, of course, a couple of bruises and scrapes from tumbling down the stairs, but not enough to kill a man, and they happened after the moan. A very interesting and peculiar death. Madame Tootie Rockhard goes to check for a pulse. She realizes there's no pulse. He is pronounced dead at the scene. Then, as everyone is grieving, mourning, the doors kick in. They fly open, and smoke pours in, flooding the foyer. A shadowy figure moves through the smoke, and loud gasps and even a scream are heard from the general vicinity of the audience. And as the smoke clears, a grizzled detective emerges. It's Detective Mike Mitchell. Now, before I get into Mike Mitchell, I'd like to tell you where that name comes from. Mike Mitchell is the name of a character a buddy of mine played in a really low-budget piece of shit movie. He played a character named Detective Mike Mitchell, so I thought it'd be really cool just kind of to put him in here as an homage to that and keep that legacy of Mike Mitchell alive. So Detective Mike Mitchell comes in, and he immediately takes control of the scene. Mike Mitchell says, "No need to scream, ladies and gentlemen. I've heard it all before." He takes one last puff from his cigar before flicking it off to the side. Mike Mitchell slowly approaches the scene. Madame Tootie Rockhard is still face down on Shock's chest. Mike Mitchell extends his condolences. "You must be the wife of the deceased. You have my sincerest condolences, madame, but right now, you're in my crime scene." Tootie Rockhard replies, "Crime scene? What do you mean?" Mike Mitchell, "It's quite simple, really. I could see it immediately. A fall from such a height would not have killed anyone, but the evidence is on his face. A smile. Why? If he had truly died from falling, there would be no smile. No. He was already dead, madame." It would be at this point the audience is made more aware of Shock Rockhard's face, and they see the biggest smile they've ever... It's at this point the audience gets a very clear view of Shock's face. There is a massive smile on it that looks like a kid on Christmas Day, smiling from ear to ear, looking like a 9-year-old boy that just went to Disney World for the first time. Magic in his eyes, little stars in his eyes. He looks like the happiest motherfucker on the entire goddamn planet. But now that's a bit interesting, isn't it? You see, most people at the Rockhard Manor that night assume that he slipped and fell when the lights went off, but if that was the case, why would he be smiling? There'd be panic washing over his face, not a big smile. So it's a very interesting conundrum Mike Mitchell is faced with, a very difficult case he's going to have to crack. Detective Mike Mitchell then arrives at the natural conclusion that this had to have been a murder. The audience then gets to hear the thoughts of Detective Mike Mitchell, one of the greatest minds in all of detective history, putting Sherlock Holmes and L from Death Note to shame. Mike Mitchell thinks to himself, "No signs of distress, and no signs of a struggle apart from the one with gravity. The smile on his face. Why? What happiness can be found in death? A minor abrasion on his L4, no doubt from the tumble down the stairs, but from my time in chiropractic school, I know there's no way that was fatal. Though the stairs are made of oak, the strongest wood available on the free market. Why oak? Mike Mitchell immediately looks up to those kneeling around him, observing him. They seem to be waiting on his every word. Mike notices this and immediately shouts, "Someone fetch me the blueprints for this house right now." The audience confusedly looks around at each other before Dr. Zachariah Good Sensation scratches his neck nervously. Yes, Detective Mike Mitchell, right away," says Dr. Zachariah. Dr. Zachariah Good Sensation then rushes away from the crowd, and Detective Mike Mitchell returns his head towards the body of Shock Rockhard. He puts his ear to the deceased man's stomach, and the voiceover returns. His thorax is nearly shattered and his lips chapped. Circumstantial, possibly, but definitely indicative. But of what? I won't read all of the dialogue here, but Detective Mike Mitchell continues to thoroughly analyze the corpse before he begins to turn his attention to something else he noticed upon this inspection. Dear God, what is that smell? Detective Mike Mitchell then quickly stands up in disgust and covers his nose with his hand. But then he screams as he realizes his hand is covered in semen. Good Lord, it's clear to me now, everyone. This man is not only dead, but he has ejaculated as well. The crowd gasps in shock, and Tootie Rockhard is heard wailing even louder now. Mike Mitchell inspects his hand and starts to try and shake the cum off. Alessandra, the maid, walks up to Mike and wipes his hand with a paper towel. Thanks, hon. Glad you were here to get me out of that sticky situation. As you'll soon learn, Mike Mitchell is a wisecracking one-liner straight out of an old 80s movie. The maid giggles and rushes away to dispose of the paper towel. Mike Mitchell turns to face the crowd. They're all talking amongst themselves and turn their attention back to Mike to give their entire focus. So what's next, Detective? If what you say is true and Daddy was indeed murdered, then one of us is at fault here. This was said by his daughter, Vanessa Rockhard. Everyone looks uncomfortably at each other. Some individuals move apart and some awkwardly scratch their necks and take calculated sips from their champagne flutes. Detective Mike Mitchell then says that everyone needs to split up and look for clues. I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I've brushed over a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the other context building all this up with the other characters. I just wanted to give you like the very core elements that happen to set up the events of the fucking at Rockhard Manor. So yeah, why was Shock Rockhard smiling upon his death, and why was he filled with so much cum in his trousers, so much so that it was leaking out into the hand of Detective Mike Mitchell? It truly is one of the best mysteries to ever be posed in fiction, and yeah, it's really about it. Just wanted to share a little from the porn script here. I know there was no sex at all in any of this right here, because that was like the hardest part for us to write, was putting sex in this story. We just focused on like the whole mystery narrative and coming up with good twists and turns and like an actual good world building, and putting sex in it was actually pretty difficult. So we did manage to fit it all in there in ways that make sense, but the main thing here is you will be watching this porn for the plot, because the narrative is a fucking banger if it ever does get made, which I'm doubtful that it ever will now at this point. But either way, just wanted to share this with you. That's about it. So yeah. BDSM test? What is that, like a BDSM personality type or something? Let me check. BDSM test, what kind of sexual deviant are you? We'll begin testing your kinkiness shortly. Would you like us to help you track your evolution over time with a free account? No thank you. We need to check you're not a robot. I pinky promise I'm not a robot. Okay. Male, age category, under 20? That's a dangerous category. Okay. I can't show this just because I'm not risking it, but I'll just read the questions out loud and we can see what kind of sexual deviant I am. I like to be dominated, especially in the bedroom. No. I already get my ass beat on like every game I play. The last place I want that is in the bedroom. I like receiving pain during sex, BDSM, and seeing the results of it. Marks, bruises, makeup, running by tears afterwards. No. Not really. I don't want to have sex and feel like I just got into a fucking biker bar fight. I enjoy it when people watch me being naked when having sex. Well, I guess I can't knock it till I've tried it. I haven't had that happen yet, so I'm just gonna go neutral. I like to be totally helpless and at my partner's disposal, physically unable to resist what they do. That sounds horrible. Like this... That just doesn't sound fun at all. I'm of course gonna say no to that one as well. Maybe this just isn't for me. Holy shit. This makes it sound like I'm in like a fucking war zone as like a prisoner of war. I enjoy playing or acting like a pet animal. Dog, cat, pony. Well, that's gonna also be a hard no from me. All respect to the bronies and furries though, I suppose. Missionary only, please. I don't understand. It, like, being complete... Like, the way they describe these things sounds miserable. I want to be totally helpless and beat up. That doesn't sound fun to me at all. That sounds like I'm some kind of high school lunch table outcast that just gets wedgies in his head thrown in the toilet. Being treated with little or no respect during sex arouses me. Pretty indifferent. I don't need to be, like, treated with respect. You don't have to call me, like, sir and that shit. We don't need to use, like, formal titles. Good pussy, ma'am. Madame. I'll just put this one as, like, a somewhat agree, I guess. There is no reason why sex would have to happen in private spaces isolated from the rest of the world. So this just kind of ties into, like, having people watch you fuck, I guess. But the way they phrase it, I'll just go with, like, an agree. Yeah, I guess you don't have to be, like, in an isolation chamber sensory deprivation tank. But it also doesn't need to be, like, in the middle of a fucking school cafeteria either. I would like to serve in a formal setting with explicit slave training, prescribed physical positions and rituals. I want to take slave training courses? Like, I literally need to go to, like, college to learn how to be a sex slave? And cult rituals? This makes it sound like more homework than fun. Alright, I'm just gonna disagree with that, I think. I enjoy feeling like prey hunted by a predator. I mean, not necessarily. Why can't we just fuck? Why do I have to, like, put on bunny ears and, like, hide in, like, burrows and put fucking dog shit over my eyes to camouflage myself in the environment while I'm hiding from my significant other? I'm just gonna go with, again, a disagree. Being part of a group of slaves that serves one master/mistress sounds like a life that would really suit me. This is fucking weird. Jill is walking to the bar 2 miles away. John is driving to the bar from 22 miles away. If Jill walks at 2.2 miles per hour, does she enjoy getting flogged by a cat? I'm sure we'll get to that question soon enough. Where are we at? I enjoy being kept as a pet in a cage, eating out of a bowl, being pet/caressed. You know, this is going to be a shock, but I think that's also going to be a hard disagree from me as well. I don't really want to be kept in a cage eating out of a dog bowl. As weird as that sounds, I mean, call me missionary only, but that certainly doesn't sound very fun. I love seeing the fear in my partner's eyes when they know I'm going to inflict pain on them. Yeah, that's definitely what I want to see when I'm about to have sex, is fear. Nothing makes me feel wanted quite like that hopelessness in my partner's eyes. And maybe some tears, too, if possible. That's going to be another hard disagree. I like to be sexually degraded and humiliated by my partner. Yes, that sounds very fun. Oh, Charlie, you're going to try and fuck me with that small, pathetic, wimpy little cock? Like little fucking baby's cock. Ooh, ew. You're gross. You're fucking... Get away from me, you fucking gross heathen. Ew. Yucky cock. I'm getting semi-chubbed already. I enjoy playing a different age than what I technically am. Yes, sometimes I'll like to cosplay as a 70-year-old professor, just retired. And then sometimes I'll cosplay as a 9-year-old lolly, I suppose, yeah. Yeah, that one sounds fun. I would like to be nothing but a 24/7 sex slave. I.e., not having any human interaction outside of sex and BDSM. What a great life to live, huh? Man, that sounds like paradise. Oh, here we go. I find it adorable when my partner acts or dresses childlike, or when they engage in childlike activities such as coloring in a coloring book or playing on a playground. I'm definitely taking an FBI's test to weed out pedophiles. That's what this is. This is a giant net the FBI has cast to bust pedophiles. I'm taking a BDSM personality test. Here, there's nothing on the screen. I just worry about Twitch just in case something comes up, but yeah. I'm taking a BDSM personality test. Living with a group of slaves owned by me and serving me would be my ultimate life goal. No, that's gonna be another hard disagree from me. I enjoy keeping my partner as a pet, providing them with a cage, feeding them out of bowl, and petting and caressing them. This test really likes to harp on the idea of being an animal trapped in a cage. That sounds horrible. That sounds absolutely like one of the worst things I could imagine, if I'm being honest. So that's gonna be another hard disagree from me. If I could not fulfill all my partner's sexual desires, I would encourage them to see other people to fill the gaps. Now, a real gentle sir from Reddit would of course strongly agree. If my lady is unsatisfied with my services, I would encourage her to go get fucked by Chad Thundercock, and I'll just wait patiently. And if I'm lucky, I can watch. I'll go with a disagree. I think on this one. I'd say maybe just communicate and tell me to do better, but I really don't think I'd be like slapping you on the ass telling you to get out there and fuck someone else. I often behave in animalistic ways during sex. Growling, howling. Yeah. That one, yeah. That sounds actually like it could be kind of cool. As you're climaxing, you just start spouting out like gamer lingo. You know, get wrecked and shit like that. I'll go with agree. Sounds cool. I enjoy feeling like a predator hunting it. Oh, so this is just the other way. So it's the same questions but reversed. I like it when my partner takes on a nurturing, guiding, almost parental role in the relationship. Yeah, if I can't be breastfed and rocked to sleep, it's just not even worth the relationship. Agreed. I like my partners to submit to me 24/7, and I'm willing to take the responsibility that comes with it. Some Dr. Doom shit, huh? I want to rule pussy with an iron fist. I'll go with neutral, I guess. It doesn't have to be 24/7, you know, maybe just for 30 seconds would be cool. I like my partner to be completely in charge, ordering me around. Yeah, I want to feel like a soldier, being led by the general of orgasms. If I could make some money from selling porn clips of myself, I definitely would. I've definitely thought about it. Being in fear of what my partner is going to do to me physically is arousing. Nope, that sounds like the... Who the fuck gets hard out of fear? That's like the worst mechanism of, like, self-preservation. My life is in danger. Time to get a boner. Like, we did not evolve over millions of years to get fear boners. I enjoy verbally degrading my partner or calling them humiliating names during sex/BDSM. Oh yeah, I'm always name-calling. You dirty, stupid face. Yeah, your pussy's real wet, huh, idiot? Fucking dummy, and then I shoot a spitball at her from behind. Yeah, raise your hand and answer another question, nerd. I enjoy it when my partner plays or acts like a pet animal. Dog, cat, pony, etc. No. I don't know what the fuck is up with like this bestiality fetish. It's another hard disagree. Hey, thanks for the raid, James. You came in at the right time. We're doing a BDSM personality test to discover what kind of kink I am. Come on and learn with us. Where are we at? The idea of being tortured sexually is appealing. No. It's also going to be a no for me. This whole test just reminds me of something out of Martyrs, where they were like torturing women like almost to death so they could see God on the other side. Like, this is fucking weird shit. No. The idea of torture isn't cool to me. I would be willing to leave everything I have behind to live in the BDSM life of my dreams. I feel like I'm about to be recruited into a cult. I like inflicting pain during sex and seeing the results of it. Marks, bruises, makeup running by tears afterwards. Yeah, again, that's gonna be another hard disagree. I'm not trying to get in there and treat it like it's some kind of fucking ballroom blitz and I just start like wailing on my partner. I like to sexually God, it's like the 19th question they've asked about sexually degrading your partner. I like to sexually degrade or humiliate my partner. Again, I mean, if you did the courtesy of having sex with me, like, I'm gonna just give you a thumbs up and like glowing reviews. I'm not gonna be in there.